I'm going to be blunt. If you like this episode, there's nothing wrong with that. But you might want to leave now because I have very few good things to say about it. I really hate this episode. I mean, I really hate it. How badly do I hate it? I just might be ready to declare it the worst episode of the show, on the spot. The only thing saving it from that status right now is a couple of episodes ahead I still have to get to. With that being said, let's begin. This episode starts with Fluttershy feeding her animal friends. Then she gets to Angel, who launches his bowl of food onto her head. For some reason I don't find this funny, but Fluttershy thought ahead and prepared a salad. Yeah, that's right. If a spoiled little shit flips a bowl over your head, you reward him. And even that reward isn't good enough for Angel. He wants something special. The fuck? Okay, you two dumbasses. You want to start at the bottom? You'll start at the bottom. Was that supposed to be funny? Were we supposed to laugh at Angel bitch-slapping Fluttershy? Whichever you two thought that would be funny, please never write again, because that wasn't slapstick. That was domestic violence. Yes. I know this episode is about Fluttershy learning to stand up for herself, and we aren't supposed to want to see this. But first of all, the bowl on her head was enough to get the point across. Secondly, if that was the case, then Angel would have gotten some sort of consequences for his actions in this episode. He doesn't get any sort until Discord messes with him and Keep Calm and Flutter On. Oh god, how I love that episode. I know that he's a rabbit, but he's been shown just as sentient as ponies, and that was horrid, even for him. Hell, that was horrid for Diamond Tiara. And that sets the plot into motion. Yeah, we're only 1 minute in. Get comfortable. So, Fluttershy goes into town to gather up ingredients for you-know-who, and it turns out that everyone else in town is a dick! Yeah, we got the worst of both worlds here. Logic takes a backseat to the plot, a la Charlotte Fullerton, and it's horribly mean-spirited, a la Meriwether Williams. Whose idea was it to put them together? Once again, I know we're not supposed to want to see this. We're supposed to increasingly want to see Fluttershy stand up for herself. But the way this episode is written, I'm instead thinking of where the hell all these assholes came from. Remember in the last episode? Yeah, what happened to that Ponyville? Fluttershy runs into Pinkie and Rarity. And guess what? They're assholes in this episode too. Rarity seduces Asparagus out of this nerd stereotype. And Pinkie does the old Bugs Bunny trick to scam a store vendor. You realize that, right? But yeah, I do like a good reference to the classics. So here's the deal. I'll concede that that's funny, but that's about as funny as the episode gets. Then Fluttershy comes across this asshole, who sees that she's desperate and charges an outrageous price for it. Of course, Fluttershy screws up both Rarity's and Pinkie's tricks because, I don't know. I guess she's stupid for this one scene, and the next, where she points out that there's no cherry on top of the salad, and that gets Angel to throw her out of the house. Fluttershy gets punted into the mail, and sees a flyer for assertiveness training, and she decides to go for it. Haha, more slapstick! If I didn't find it funny when Dash didn't get cider, I definitely don't find it funny that Fluttershy is getting abused at every opportunity. Here we meet Iron Will, who is a Minotaur. He excites the crowd, and is so assured in his lessons that he offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If they aren't 100% satisfied, they pay nothing. Since Fluttershy is the only one in the audience who isn't excited, his goat minions, I don't know, bring her on stage in an attempt to prove that anyone can benefit from his lessons. It boils down to this. If someone is an asshole, you be a bigger asshole.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be assertive. Never apologize when you can criticize.
Don't mind if I do, you big blue far-faced dick. Fluttershy really seems to like this idea. So the abuse to her is all over and the episode gets better, right? Yeah, sure, it gets better. No, it gets worse. Although I wasn't sure how they would top that, but they found a way. First of all, remember all those assholes that came from nowhere in the beginning of the episode? Yeah, they went back into the ether, never to be seen again. Usually in your average Lifetime movie of the week, the abused starts taking revenge on the assholes who abused her. None of the assholes in this episode face any consequences. Instead, Fluttershy goes after other assholes, starting with her gardener from The Best Night Ever. That's an odd cameo. After he overwaters her flowers, she overwaters him. And Fluttershy is excited that it actually works. Believe it or not, that is the only justified action in the entire episode. No, I'm not kidding. Two more stereotypes, this time Valley Girl, are blocking the bridge. When they don't move, Fluttershy coats them with garbage. Fluttershy's a Pegasus. She has wings. You see the problem, right? She can fly over.
What? And ruin the plot?
Fluttershy enters Sugar Cube Corner, and hey, a new asshole appears! Seriously, where the fuck are these guys coming from? Before in the market, you can make an argument that the stand owners were justified in their behavior, since Fluttershy was acting timid. But now they're just coming from nowhere, specifically to cause Fluttershy to flip. And here's where the episode goes from bad to abysmal. Rarity and Pinkie are proud of who they call new Fluttershy, and that causes Pinkie to laugh. This causes Fluttershy to go on a rampage because, I don't know! Pinkie is one of your best friends, and she represents the element of laughter. You've got to be used to her random bouts of giggling by now. Speaking of which, yeah, kindness? Another asshole appears. Hey, can we get a counter in here to see how many assholes have appeared? And only count the ones that have appeared in this episode. So don't count Angel, and I guess don't count Fluttershy. You see my problem, right? All of these one-shots are here just to push Fluttershy over the edge. And is she flipping the bird here? Pinkie and Rarity also see how badly this episode is panning out. Now Fluttershy is shouting at her animal friends, and she goes beating up the mail pony when he gave her the wrong mail. And then she punts a tourist. What am I supposed to be feeling here? Am I supposed to have a you go girl kind of reaction? Woohoo, yeah, you go girl, go assault the random passerbys. Pinkie and Rarity finally try to stop her. And then we get, in my opinion, the worst moment of the entire show.
That you've taken your assertiveness training a little too far.
What? You just want new Fluttershy to be a doormat like old Fluttershy. Old Fluttershy is gone! New Fluttershy? Old Fluttershy?
What happened to nice Fluttershy? We want that Fluttershy back.
No, you want wimp Fluttershy. You want pushover Fluttershy. Need Fluttershy to keep track of. Make it stop! Things getting too complicated for your simple little brain, Pinkie Pie.
Let's not let things descend into petty insults.
Why not? I thought petty was what you're all about, Rarity, with your petty concerns about fashion. Hey, leave her alone! Fashion is her passion! Oh, and what are you passionate about? Birthday cake? Party hats? I can't believe that the two most frivolous ponies in Ponyville are trying to tell new Fluttershy how to live her life when they are throwing their own lives away on pointless pursuits that no pony else gives a flying feather about!
Deduct a point. Use negative numbers. Let me explain what just happened. If this episode didn't make it painfully, cringe-inducingly clear, Fluttershy just insulted two of her best friends' reason for living. I don't even know what to say about that. You go, girl, emotionally scar your best friends. She just said that they had stupid hair and they walked away. I wouldn't complain, considering that something like this needed to happen. But, Jesus Christ, Fluttershy, you didn't need to verbally assassinate two of your best friends. This moment brought this episode from abysmal to irredeemable. If that didn't make you tear up at least a little, let me ask you this. Fluttershy did one of two things. Either she made up a lie on the spot to emotionally cripple her friends, or she told them what she really thought of them, knowing they would hurt them in a horribly intimate way. Here's the question for you. Which would be kinder? Then there's that. Is Fluttershy in character here? I honest to God hope not. But how frequently she gets written as a psychotic sociopath? I really don't know. Don't believe me? Let's go down the list. She has no regards for the law. It takes a hair trigger to get her to flip. She has freaky intimidation powers. She's willing to do this to her best friends. And keep calling Flutter on, she uses her affections to manipulate others. God, I hate that episode. People seem to like this episode because, yay, Fluttershy is actually doing stuff. Hello? I'd rather be annoyed by her constantly cowering than watching her do crap like this. And let's bring up Fluttershy's Discord itself. You do realize that while she was discorded, the worst thing she did physically was toss a bucket on Twilight's head, and the worst thing she did emotionally was call others stupid. Anything else she did was the standard school bully crap. After Pinkie and Rarity run away crying, Fluttershy looks into a puddle and realizes that she made some kind of whoopsie-daisy. Yes, Fluttershy, you should feel guilty. No, Fluttershy, you should feel beyond guilty. I'm not entirely certain that you realized exactly what you just did. You know, I don't think I'll forgive you until you walk a mile in both of their shoes.
Try to keep them laughing, put a smile upon their face, but no matter what I try, it seems a bit of a disgrace.
Well, you're halfway there. Her life isn't very simple now, is it? Sometime later, Pinkie and Rarity come back. My God, I will never doubt the character of either of them ever again. Yes, kids, you can make your friends cry by playing off their insecurities, but if they're good friends, they'll come back. Just because they're good friends. Bite me! Oh, and so now we've got the helpful angel back when Fluttershy wants to be tied up.
Pinkie Pie doesn't blame you, nor do I. You just received some bad advice from that Iron Will character.
Excusey?
He's the one that made you act super duper nasty.
Yeah, I remember the scene where Iron Will told Fluttershy to attack at the Slider's provocation, and the scene where he told her to be as violent and unpleasant as possible, and I definitely remember the scene where he told her to turn her friends into sopping piles of misery. Except that none of those scenes happened. Yes, I know they don't want to believe Fluttershy would do something like that. Hell, I don't want to believe that Fluttershy would do something like that. But here's the problem. They ride this idea to the end, and the episode itself places blame on Iron Will for everything that happened. Iron Will comes to collect his payment. Pinkie and Rarity try to use their techniques on Iron Will, but that doesn't work. If you think the jokes you already used will save this episode, then you are sadly mistaken. Iron Will throws both of them into the mud, and he tears open Fluttershy's door.
Your payment is overdue, Fluttershy!
That's why you collect their payment before the seminar, dumbass. Fluttershy has finally found a happy medium and stands up to Iron Will, and takes advantage of his 100% satisfaction guarantee. Yeah, I don't remember the scenes where Fluttershy learned how to restrain herself either. Here's a new rhyme for you kids. Money back guarantee. Get advice for free.
No means no, huh? Nobody's ever said that to me before.
Hey, dumbasses! You realize the connotations of what you just wrote, right? Either that, or they did know better and they did it anyway. And then we get a happy ending that, to be goddamn honest, this episode doesn't deserve.
But I've learned that standing up for yourself isn't the same as changing who you are. Now I know how to put my hoof down without being unpleasant or mean.
Yup, you did. I don't know when you did it, and I don't know how you did it, but you did it. My final score is on the screen right now. I didn't forget to put in any stars because this episode doesn't deserve any stars. This is my first 0 out of 5. Before this, bad episodes made me bored, or angry, or annoyed. This is the first one that made me cringe. I'll sum it up in one word. Unpleasant. Sure, some parts were more unpleasant than others, but I hate almost every frame of this episode. We have exactly what I was afraid this episode would be. The worst of both worlds. A contrived plot, thanks to Charlotte Fullerton. You know, assholes that come out of nowhere, and a character behavior to specifically change the course of the plot. And we can thank Merryweather for the specifics. I blame the slap, the verbal assassination, and all the rest of the mean-spiritedness on her. Merryweather has another problem. One that I found in nearly all of her bad episodes. She just loves to place the blame on the wrong character. In Meridwell, we were supposed to blame all the blame on Rainbow, and here, we were supposed to place all the blame on Iron Will. The funny thing is that he's probably the only one who doesn't deserve any consequences. And do I even have to talk about how awful Fluttershy is in this episode? Yes, I get that it's the point, but even if you wanted her to go overboard, there's a goddamn limit. And it's a few miles before this. It's funny, most people started liking Fluttershy after this episode. I can't. But now I guess I have an understanding if you choose to.